Hello, in this video I'm gonna make a simple scroll view using no code, just doing everything here in the interface builder in the storyboard. I started a clean project with a single view controller. And now we're gonna begin by adding first if we search here for UI view, I'm going to place a UI view at the top just to show that this is a non-scrolling area later on when we're going to scroll. And I'm just going to make this, let's make it some kind of red. And let's give this some layout rules. And let's say go to the top, to the left, to the right, and let's give it some height. It's now 105, let's say, an even 100, like that. Let's say update frames. And then let's add a scroll view. Just something like this. And let's say I want it to go 0 up to that view we just added. 0 to the side, 0 to the side, 0 to the bottom. And let's update frames. So now the scroll view is everywhere. All right, so what happens if I add a UI view in here? Like this. Now you see it's in the scroll view. And let's give it a color so we can see it. Let's give it some kind of green color. I'm gonna take this a little bit from the sides like this. And let's give it some layout rules. Sure, let's say 8 points from the side, 14 from top. Height, let's say an even 200. Update frames. Now you see didn't move. It still says that it should be 7 points less. Let's do like this. Now it's 200. We get a little error here that says scrollable content size ambiguity, because it really doesn't know how big the inner size is. Let's see what happens if we run this. Let's see, the red is up here. This is the scrolling area. It doesn't really know how big the area is, because if you think about it, the scroll view is this area, but the content inside the scroll view can be much bigger, so it scrolls. What we could do is let's add a view on top of this here. A white one. And I'm gonna change this to X0, Y0. So it jumps up here. I'm gonna give this a color now, let's give it a black color. Just so it shows. I'm gonna give it a height of 2 pixels or 2 points just to make it show like this. Let's give it some rules. As always, we have to give a component 4 rules. Position in horizontal in X, position in vertical Y, and then a width and a height. That defines where and how something should look. So let's say up to the top, to the left, to the right, and let's give it a height, 2. Sure, that's what we normally do. But then, let's break the rules. If we also say that, all right, you should be to the left And this is to the left of the scrollable area. But we don't know how wide the scrollable area is. So let's say this, the black view, hold Control and click and drag to the scroll view and say you should be equal widths. Now we've said that the black one is supposed to be to the left of the scrolling area, to the right of the scrolling area, and give it a width. This breaks the four layout rules rule. But hey, now let's see. Now we have the green one shows up because now by saying that the black one has a fixed width, and the fixed width is the width of the scroll view, then it knows how big the content area is. So now the green one shows. We don't want a black view up there, so we could easily just select this and say background clear color. That doesn't show, but it still takes up space and pushes out the scrollable area. Let's just add a label here, just to have some kind of content. Let's just say give this out to the sides and to the top and give it a height, something like this. Now we need a bunch of content to force this to scroll. So let's search, let's do another UI view. Let's give this also a color. We can give it let's give it a light gray color. What happens if I make this out to the sides and up to the top, and let's give it a height. Now you see it's 269 here to there. Let's give it, let's say, your 500 height. That means that it continues. You see the dashed line here, it continues down. What happens if you run this? You see, here's the green one, here's our label, here's the gray one. If I try to scroll this, nothing happens. Because the scroll view doesn't know the height of the content inside the scroll view. What we need to do is take the last thing down here, like the gray one, the last thing in vertical, and say, let's break the rules. You got 4 rules here for left, right, top, height. Now let's add another one and let's say, yeah, you're also gonna be 20 from the bottom. Then the scroll view knows how big the content is in height, because it's got the clear one and the green one is to the top. It has a height, and the label is below the green one and has a height, and the gray one is below that and has a height, and there's a distance to the bottom. By doing this, now we can scroll this like this. There's some distance here, because we said that the gray one had a distance of here, bottom space 20 points. A good thing to do here, now if we're gonna build, let's say for instance, a long form with a lot of text fields and things like that, perhaps when we lay out this, we want to see the whole thing. Like now the gray one Let's change this. The height is actually, we set it to be 500 in the layout rules, in the constraints. So it continues down. Let's see the whole thing. So we can do here, like here, the view controller. Simulator size fixed. Let's change that to freeform. This is just the way it gets displayed here in the interface builder for the storyboard. Width 375, like an iPhone 6, 7. Height 667. Let's change this to like 1500. Now we get this very long one. So here we could change this to anything. Let's see, perhaps 1000. Now I can see my whole layout. If I decided to add another thing, I would have to take the gray one, delete the bottom space here. Let's delete that rule. And let's say I want to add another label down here. Let's write bottom here. Let's give this rules. 8 up to the gray, out to the sides, and it notes how much it is from the sides because we have one that up there that pushes it out. We could use one of our own components, but I like to use a separate one just for pushing it out. And to the bottom, let's say 10 to the bottom, and let's give it a height. That is 5 rules. We should only use 4 rules for positioning something, but ScrollView, let's break the rules. Then we added this, run it again. Now we can scroll down, and here we have bottom with 10 points down to the actual bottom. For the scroll view, here you have, for the scroll view, scrolling enabled. If you want to show the indicators, if you want to show that bar to the right, and you have if it should bounce and things like that. That's a little bit about how to build a scroll view using no code and making it work. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. And please let me know if there's anything else you want to have in future upcoming videos. Thank you.